Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We've got a great show lined up, but first, as always, our weather, brought to us by Haney Technical Center. Looking at we got rains over with, looking at a pretty decent day, and it's going to be pretty decent all week. Really, it's nothing extraordinary like we had last week, but the high is going to be 66 and low 40. That's seasonable. Now, let's talk about the water temperature again. Remember yesterday I said it was a season low of 51.6 degrees. That's probably the lowest we're going to have, and it's back up today to 53, and remember last week it was 53, so that was a classic case where you can study it, and you see where those currents, it's not just one solid wave and stays that way. Those currents come in and out, and where that thermometer was, that's exactly what it read that particular day. So it's warming back up, so we're in pretty good shape. Now look at river readings brought to us by Sandhill Seafood, Apalachicola, Bluntstown, 4.2. Not much movement, but the Choctawhatchee at Kerrville right now is at a 4.8, but it looks like tomorrow it's going to start going up. And I guess, they're anticipating the rain we had yesterday, so it's going to be going up a little bit, be rising. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Still don't have a tide chart. We're working on it. Got 2 or 3 folks working on it. It's a unique tide chart. It's a locally made, and we really, I can get all kind off the apps and all, but I want to just show you some good local stuff here done by a local guy. So that's why we're holding off on it, trying to get that one. Okay, it's going to be a low tide at 8:02 and a high tide at 3:57. Rain forecast at northwest at about 10 to 15, so pretty good breeze there. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. At the end of the show yesterday, we had this chart, and I told you I was going to pick it up today because I want to talk in more detail about it since we're right here in the middle of this deer rut. So let's take a look at this chart we had up yesterday. It's the Quality Deer Management Association. And what I want to talk about, it's really very understandable looking at a different color here, but let's look at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, the bottom of the peninsula. Okay, that's yellow. See the color chart, the color code on the left there. So yellow, that's the only place in America where you have an early rut in August. That's down around the Keys and Everglades and all. And then right there, a little thin strip, we're going to work our way north in the peninsula. We got September, and then October. And see where the October goes all the way up there to South Carolina, because I had a good buddy of mine would go from Winter Haven to South Carolina to hunt their rut. And that's that color right there. Now, let me say this. I've known that a very long time, and I was always under the assumption that it really was just a temperature, and that's why it changed. It went in there early and all, but they've done so many studies. They're coming out with the genetics where the deer were brought in and all. So let's look at it again. Of course, the dark blue at the top of the screen is in November. So you got October, then November. A lot of folks in November, like the Georgia rut is in November. But here's what's interesting. Look at the medium blue in December. That's sort of scattered in different areas. And then the light blue, which includes all of Alabama and Georgia, just about it, that's January. Okay, and then in particular, I'm going to blow it up, the Florida Peninsula. And what I thought was interesting about this map, the peninsula of Florida, okay, way down the bottom in yellow, and then the Panhandle, up in the northwest, our Panhandle group, those two are extremes. I thought it was fascinating for Florida to have that kind of a rut. But anyway, that's the color of the rut. I just wanted to show you how, and they say it's genetics. Steve Shea's been on the show. He's touched on it before. I'm going to get him come in later another time and talk more about it. But that's a great chart right there. I knew y'all would appreciate that. So let's get our pictures real quick, okay? Blake Sutherland. Now, I love what he said right here. Thankful Dad taught me the woods young so I could do this so much. And he loves outdoors. Blake Sutherland. Okay, Chris Paxton, FWC biologist. Chris has been on the show before. He's coming again probably one day next week. We're going to talk some freshwater fisheries, but look at here, a great day fishing the Little St. Marks River and Apalachicola confluence with my fishing buddy, Papa Miller. That's his father-in-law, Barry Miller, and they had an excellent day. Check that out. And here's another picture of them in it together. Okay, good job, Chris and Barry. Good catch right there. Flounder, redfish, trout. Good job. Okay. Brad Howell sent this in to Florida Panhandle Hunters. My first buck in many years. I don't know how many I've let walk, but this one will do. This is what happens when you if you can control it, let the little ones walk, and this is what's going to happen. Good job, Brad. I love this picture here. This Tanner Odom sent this in to Florida Panhandle Hunters, and my wife dropped her first deer ever, a nice little 8. Brittany Odom, congratulations. That's a great picture. That's one you want to frame right there. Good job, Brittany. Hunter Hodges, okay, Hunter Hodges, he's from Mariana. That is a big, nice Jackson County buck, Hunter. Brian Jones sent this to me. He said, okay, I'm gonna blow it up so we can see it. I was wondering if you could try and post this picture of my father's deer kill. He watches your show every day. His name is Bo Jones. He killed this 10-point just south of Chipley. It's the biggest buck yet. Thank you, sir. And I said, I sure will. That's a fine buck. And then, that is a good buck. And then look, he's followed up. Here's another one he just shot. Awesome 8-point. I want to say it was Wednesday, and the buck was chasing a doe. So the 10-point, 8-point ain't bad. This is our cousin. This is Davis Bell. This is Gail's cousin from Quincy. This is a Gaston County buck. Davis, he and I been friends and since elementary school, I guess. And he's Gail's cousin, and their parents were brother and sister. They built a house on St. George Island. I've been fishing that before, and we talked about that. But good job, Davis Bell from Quincy. Okay. That takes care of those pictures. I do want to, let's see, I may have a couple more because I've got them scattered here because it got sent in at different times. I do. Let me show these two right here. Okay, I love this one. Okay. This is sent to me by Dina Santoli Freed. Check, she messaged this to me last night. Austin and Robbie with a limit of crappie at Howard Creek. Hope you're enjoying your retirement. We miss you at Mosley. Dina teaches at Mosley. Folks, check out this house. Their place is right around the corner from my place. They're down there fishing. I'm up at the house doing something. I don't know what I was doing, but look at here. There's a nice limit right there. Robbie Freed and Austin. Good job. And Dina, thank you for sending that. Okay, let's see if I got any more. I do have one more. Yeah, this right here, I like this one. One more. My personal best in 2018. Okay, this is from Anthony McGehee. Caught on the Chattahoochee River north of Columbia, Alabama. 6.5 pounds using a creature bait. Water temperature was 47 degrees. Good job. That's a nice bass right there. Okay, good job, Anthony. I'll take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I know we have a lot of loyal viewers that watched us from way back in the beginning of time. And if you remember when the drones first came out, I was fascinated. I still am fascinated with those drones. And we talked about all the possibilities that drones would be able to help mankind. And one of the things I mentioned a good while back, and we talked about all the different things about watching deer races and seeing the bait fish out there and all kinds of things. But here at Panama City Beach, I bet they could drop off life jackets or something like that. Well, folks, the first recorded ever rescue of a drone-launched life. Well, this is another story, okay? But anyway, I've got it here. We've got about 20 seconds of it, and we're going to try to play it because I was just fascinated with it, and we're going to see if it'll buffer up. We don't do a lot of this. We don't show a lot of other people's stuff because of the. But anyway, it's still okay. Here we are. This is down in Australia. Okay, so follow this. The camera's on the drone, and these two swimmers are in trouble. Now you can see the swimmers. Now you see how rough the surf is. You can see the swimmers getting right there in the middle of the screen, right there. Okay, the drone. Okay, it's remote control, and they were out there, and that's really rough surf. Got a strong undertow, and those two boys are in trouble. And they're in a lot of trouble. It's over their head, and it's real. Okay, they shoot that from the drone. Look, watch this thing now. It hits the water, and it just expands. Okay, it expands. It's a long tube, and they're able to grab a hold of it. And what's fascinating, Now watch this next wave coming in here. There'll be a wave. They're holding on to it. They're okay now. I mean, they're not. They may not get. Okay, watch this wave right here. Look at this wave. Boom. Now that's when you hold on for dear life. Okay. So and they're still hanging on to it. They worked the stuff in, but this was in the New York Post. That's the first ever recorded water rescue by a drone-launched life mechanism. And I don't know if you watch Shark Tank also, because that tube that they shot out of there. I mean, that was precision the way they did it. But that tube itself was on Shark Tank a year or two ago, and the guy that invented it talked about how he was a Marine, he was a Navy SEAL, and he retired from it, and talked about he'd been in water rescues before, and that he thought that was a good deal. But none of the Shark Tank guys or girls bought that from him or helped him out on it. But anyway, that I was just fascinated when I saw that, and like I said, I just wanted to share it with you because that's something we had talked about before here on the show. Remember, I talked about all the things that drones could do. Okay, and speaking of which, that was in Australia, but it's still, I can see here at Panama City Beach, when we get those rough times out here, and those lifeguards they'll get there, but sometimes they can't get there quick enough. I would hope the Tourist Development Council, with all that ton of money they have out there, would invest in some drones, train those lifeguards or train someone, and just have them, that would be amazing. That would save lives, as simple as that. So anyway, now speaking of people and water, this past weekend, an acquaintance of mine, Dick Lambert, was out fishing. They went 20-something miles out in a 23-foot boat. And remember how cold the water was last week? Well, we talked about it, 51 or 52 degrees. He fell in the water. He actually fell out of the boat. I don't know the details, but you're in a 23-foot boat and you're 20-plus miles out, almost 30 miles out, and it's not hard to fall in the water. The bad thing about it this time of year, when you hit the water, you're in trouble right away. Fortunately, he was able to stay close to the boat. His three buddies were able to get him in. They had a ladder to put on the boat, so they were able to get him to the boat, and he was able to get back in. But that's a real life situation right there where, it happened right here. It happened to a guy I know, and he loves outdoors. He's a good outdoorsman, but he just fell in. But like I say, if he was away from the boat and all, he would have been in serious trouble if the boat wouldn't start. So be aware of that. So anyway, speaking of water temperature, I've shown this chart before. Look at look at this chart here. We're in January. We're about to hit the coldest it's going to get. I really think we've already hit it. February, okay. Look at the middle line, basically. That's the mean average. And it's going to, right in February 10th or whatever, they say, the coldest water. But I think we've already had it this year. But anyway, it's going to start going up soon. But right now, we're in really cold water. Not just for, I'm not talking about just for humans and all, for the fish and everything. Everything's so lethargic outdoors now because it's just too cold to move around. That's why the fish now are looking for warm spots. And that's why the intercoastal is good fishing now. That's a little bit warmer there. And the little potholes, they can get in there, and they like to get up there through the pass and get in sunny spots and all. The steam plant canal, over and over again, we'll talk about steam plant canal. There's still some fish in there, but you can't get into it on a north wind, on low tides anymore. If you go fish steam plant canal, which is real popular, you need to plan on an afternoon trip to get up there and fish, and because the tide's coming in the afternoon. But like I said, tomorrow north wind, northwest at about 10 to 15, so it's going to be pretty weak there. So anyway, this chart is important. I just wanted to show it to you. All right, a couple of other things too. Let's talk about the bass fishing. I had several people. Remember we talked about a little while back, about a week or two ago, about so many people you can keep bass now. Here's a limit right here. Jared Farmer, okay, statewide. He said this was at the Choctaw River in Caryville on Highway 90, and this is a picture of it. This is posted at the boat ramp in Caryville. Gerald, thank you for sending that. Also got this too. John Mullen sent this. Now this explains it really good. You can explain things so much better with a picture. You can keep 5 bass, okay? You can keep, let's see, here it is right here. Here's the rules right here. Daily bag limit is 5 largemouth bass, Only one may be 16 inches or longer. There's no this is what I was talking about. There's no minimum length limit for a largemouth bass. So let's go back to the picture. So you can in your box, okay, you only keep one of those, okay, but the rest of them there's no limit. So that's what I'm talking about. I mean, no minimum size limit is what I'm saying. No, there is a limit of 5, but only one of them can be more than 16 inches, okay? All right, let's take our final break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's look at our fishing game times for today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at 4:35 a.m. to 6:35, and this evening 4:58 to 6:58 p.m. Let's go ahead and add some more names on here. Folks, I was figuring this up. You'll get a kick out of this. Well, our show comes on, say 50 times a year, 52 weeks. But anyway, it says 50. We'll give away 3 prizes every Friday. That's 50 times 3 is 150 prizes we'll give away. Plus, throughout the year, we'll give all kind of stuff. We'll give away close to 200 things here on Panhandle Outdoors. So that's why we enjoy doing it. That's why I would encourage you to enter, because you got a good chance of winning. All right, here we go. Wade Hazelup from Defuniac Springs. Wade, hope you're feeling better, and we're glad to have Wade's a really loyal viewer up there. Okay, Pat Sasser up in Weewall, or over in Weewall. Jep Sasser, okay, Weewall. Lynn Haven, we have Kristen Collins, Perry Gillespie, Deborah Gillespie, Panama City. Harold Posey, Panama City. Gloria Posey, Panama City. Gene Porter, Port St. Joe. Judy Saps, Port St. Joe. Steve Saps, Port St. Joe. Gerald Farmer, Caryville. We covered the Panhandle like kudzu covers Alabama. Now, that's an original saying right there. But anyway, I do want to I mention this. I got a call after the show one morning last week, and it was a guy from up in right outside of Hospital, a place called Blue Creek, named Harold Brown. And the Brown family is a big old family up there in Liberty County. Been there a long time. But I had spoken to the First Baptist Church in Bristol, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. I talked to the men's group there and had a good talk. But I'd mentioned something when I was giving a talk. I sort of tailor make it to where I'm talking. And I'd mentioned about I've told the story before, squirrel hunting in the swamps of Liberty County. And as a little kid, and seeing my dad with a World War II pack on his shoulders and seeing all those squirrel tails out of it. And then toward the end of the talk, I was talking about, I said one day in heaven, I think I'm going to be behind my dad, and I can look up and see those squirrel tails hanging out of that back. And he still remembers that statement I made, and we talked, had a wonderful talk. But what Harold does now, and this is where you come in right here, he has a place up there to hunt off Blue Creek Road, several hundred acres, and it's called Trails End Hunting Preserve. Check this out, folks. This is exciting. If you want to go on a paid hunt, and if you really want to, take somebody to get a wall mount, a trophy, and a deer of a lifetime, you ain't got to go to Illinois or Kentucky where a lot of these other folks go, which nothing wrong with that, believe me, but this is right here local. This is in our viewing area, okay? I'm going to show you a couple of things about it. Here's Trails End Hunting Preserve, and here's some of the deer that's been taken out of there. Is that amazing? It's just great genetics. And there's a phone number on the far right-hand side, 850-509-5732. 5732. Here's a testimonial. 2 of the greatest hunts of my lifetime have been with Harold Brown. He and his wife Pam were the perfect host. The deer were unbelievable. His guiding was spot on. 2 trophies now adorn my walls because of this great hunting preserve. That's Bill Jenkins giving that testimonial. And this is last week. 2 his and hers return hunters to Trails End scored big bucks. And his scored 262 points, hers 181 points, yours, okay? And so if you want a trophy buck, you call Harold Brown on that number up there. It's Trails End Hunting Preserve. It's on Blue Creek Road, sort of right there off Highway 20 as you go through Hospital. It's back in there. I've been right by it, and it's just a great, if you want to do that kind of stuff, so call Harold. Okay, now let's get back to fishing. One of the great things to do this time of year is hybrid bass, and I was thinking about that last night, and we really in some great situations, especially this time of year, to catch a hybrid bass. And here's a picture of it right here. But I always just want to show you the top spots. The following areas, the FWC now picked these up, okay, for stripers or sunshine bass, okay, and they listed places, but look at here, this is our viewing area. One of the first ones they talk about, the Apalachicola River, the Lake Seminole. I won't read the whole thing, but this is where the largest marone species in the state are found. The largest striped bass are found in this area right here. Well, off Lake Seminole, really behind the dam there on the Apalachicola River, they're huge. So, in fact, the state record was 42 pounds. It was caught there. The sunshine bass, 16 pounds, and the white bass. They were all caught in Apalachicola. All of those fish were caught there, most of them around the dam, the state records of those 3 species. So we need to get up there and fish that dam. I know some of you guys up there in Sneeds and Grand Ridge and all fishing on a regular basis. Y'all give me a call. I'll go in and film y'all one day because it's really fascinating, okay? Let's go to this next one, Lake Talcott and Ocklawaha River. They're both set up the same way. You got a big lake, and then you got that dam, and they come up that dam over there, and it's striped bass are stocked. They stock this one annually in Lake Talcott. That's what's cool about that. They put in between 10, I don't know how many thousand they put in there, but they put it all over. They put a lot of them in there. Okay, I'm gonna run out of time. I do want to. Let's go over one more. The Choctawhatchee River. It has a bunch of them, and y'all know, you guys that fish over there, striped bass or sunshine bass, they're stocked annually. And it goes on to say that down below state, below the bridge there in Ebro at Highway 20, south of there, on into Choctawhatchee Bay is a prime spot. So that's 3 places here in the Panhandle fishing for striped bass and hybrid bass, and it's top places in the state and in the southeast. All right, I got to get out of here. Thank y'all for watching. Got Travis coming on tomorrow. Got guests coming all week. That's why I enjoy doing the show by myself today. You have a great day. Always do something good for your fellow man. Enjoy the great outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.